Hi everybody, welcome to my stop along this amazing hop. Who knew 2 years ago when I started this little How to Kill a Kit with Style series that it would turn into something so big. We always have so many people playing along with us, so many YouTubers playing along with us. So much fun. So a huge shout out to Jen Gain, who is Kaz Mom on YouTube. She has been like my right hand person this year, helping me to make sure that we can keep this series going for another year and beyond. Okay, so let's talk about scraps and how I picked mine. I went through my paper tower and I looked for a collection that had no more 12 by 12 papers and a lot of scraps. What I found was this. So this is actually a scrapbookingstore.com kit from last year, from last fall. And I still kept it. I didn't break it apart or anything. So I thought, well, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I'm going to show you here. We have no more full sheets of paper. We actually have like very few sheets of paper altogether. Very sparse papers. I have 2 birds, a couple of butterflies, and just a few little bits from the element sticker sheet. Perfect way to use up some scraps for a layout. So I went through my product and found what products I was going to work with. Then I went into my photos. I'm going to have to use an older photo. That's okay. You know me. I don't care. It's all good. So I found this older photo of my family that can go in my family book. My family book is my non-chronological, just throw stuff in it book. As long as each album page has the date stamped, I don't care. And then I pulled out this lovely kind of tealy cardstock. And I also pulled out a piece of foundations paper, thinking that maybe we'll do a little mixed media. Maybe we'll do a little bit of stamping on the back, something. We'll do something with it. I also, when I looked at this, I thought that some speckled egg distress ink would be lovely with all of this. And then I grabbed a set of stamps. So I'm going to start with my background, play with that a little bit, kind of decide what I want to do with it using the speckled egg distress ink. Then I'm going to play with this stamp set. I'm going to stamp and fussy cut, I think 3 of the big leaves and 4 of the small leaves, because what I was noticing here was that I've used up all of the leaves on this sticker sheet, and it's a fall layout, and I just can't do fall layout without leaves. And then we'll do lots of some just cute little I don't know, we'll do some layers with all this, and I'm thinking that maybe this and this will be part of what I use for my title. So that's where my head is at. I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward, kind of clear my desk and get my speckled egg distress ink out, kind of decide where I want to start with creating a background. Okay, let's get this started with my background. I'm going to trim this Vicki Boutin Foundations paper down to 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. Vicki Boutin Foundations paper is super duper similar to the hot press watercolor paper that I usually use. So it's pretty much the same thing, honestly. So I had some of this in my stash, and I'm running really low on white paper right now. So I decided I'd go ahead and trim this up and use it. So next up, I want to do a little bit of mixed media on my layout. And when I say a little bit, I really do mean just a little bit. So I want to just get a nice color wash across this page. I'm going to really soak this page, put lots and lots of water on it. And then I smooshed down some speckled egg distress oxide ink that you can see right over there. And I'm just going to kind of get it wet and add it to the back of the page. You can see how subtle this is. When it's all finished, the look is very subtle. This isn't in your face. mixed media. In fact, I don't even know if this is mixed media because it's really just water and Distress Oxide ink. It's not really, so I guess, well, mixed media though is kind of like if I would have like stenciled over this or done something else, but I really just used the Distress Oxide and some water. And I just kept adding layers of water and Distress Oxide till I was happy with how this looked. This beautiful, amazing brushes from Brutus Monroe. It's like my favorite set of brushes ever. Like, they're gorgeous. First of all, they're super cute and they're pink, and they work so well. So I'm just going to go ahead and add these strips of color till I'm happy with how it looks. And then I'm going to hit it with my heat tool because I just didn't want to wait. That's just the easiest way to describe it. But look how pretty that is. That gives just a really nice, subtle wash of color. If you have ever taken a mixed media class with me, you know that I like my mixed media to kind of serve a purpose. And I like the painterly brush strokes. And I also like subtle. I really enjoy just creating a background that is interesting but subtle. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat this till it's nice and dry. And now I'm just going to add that really subtle border of cardstock across the back of the page. The reason I did this primarily is because for some reason my Vicky Bouton paper isn't 12 by 12. I don't know why. If it's 12 by 12, but then there's that like perforated piece at the top and the little hole, and so yeah, I needed to have a little bit of color behind it so I could cut my page down and get the perforations and the little hole punch thing in. So next up, I'm going to start stamping. So I want to create these leaf stamps. I definitely want to use them. I have my Altenew permanent black ink, and then I have Catherine Pooler ink in Hot Tub and Tutti Frutti. Hot Tub is that really nice soft aqua color, and Tutti Frutti is a bright kind of orangey red color that is so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and use those two colors and kind of layer these stamps up. I am stamping the leaf in black because there are a lot of black elements in this collection, and so I wanted to add that little pop of black to my stamp. So as you can see here, I've stamped down my leaf. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I'm going to wipe it up and keep a Huggies baby wipe nearby, because having a Huggies baby wipe nearby when you are stamping is always a good idea. I'm going to start with these nice black, not black, of course they're black. They're large. These are the large stamps, right? These are the ones that are these are the larger leaves before I do the small leaves. Did that make sense? I hope it made sense. Anyway, stamping the black leaves, and I'm going to stamp 3 of them, and then I'm going to go in with the colors. Asked quite often why I rub new stamps on my arm, and here is why. So when you pull a stamp off and it's brand new, there are still like these funky oils and like slickness to it from the machines that the stamps are created with. And so there are lots of ways to like season your stamps, right? You can add ink to them, and then you can go ahead and stamp them off a couple times, and that gets rid of that like stuff. Some people take an eraser and rub their eraser over their arm, over their stamps. It's all the same for the same reason. The rubbing them on my arm, I got that trick from Jen Scow, and it works like a dream. And you know what? I don't need another special tool hanging out. I don't need to waste paper and stamp unnecessarily. I can just rub that stamp on my arm and it is good to go. I am all for not having to take extra steps in stamping. So I have to give Jen Scow credit. That is all her, but it works so good. So easy, so simple. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the inside layers of the stamps. Now let's get started on the inside layers of these leaves. So these leaves layer so easily. I know sometimes layered stamps can be a bit tricky, right? They can be a little bit like, ever so slightly scary. I agree with you. I get it. I have done layering flowered stamps a lot, and yeah, it can get a little dicey. I agree with you. These particular stamps are uber simple. I mean, uber simple. Like, anybody can do it. They line up like a dream, and then they stamp like a dream. And yeah, so if you're looking for a fun fall leaf stamp, go for these. These are so cool. Look how cool they are. I love that geometric look on the inside. I love this aqua and orange color combo together. I feel like you guys are going to be seeing this again. I did hit this particular leaf with 2 Stamp It Twice with the hot tub ink, but it didn't need it. In fact, after I had finished with stamping all the leaves, I really liked the look of it just stamped once. And here we go again, just rubbing that stamp, lining it up, stamping away, and we're going to end up with 7 leaves in total. And then I'm going to fussy cut them all. Now we can get going on these scraps. Okay, so I'm going to kind of collect everything together. There are those leaves again. They're so pretty. I'm super happy with how those leaves turned out. I know that a lot of these scraps are going to be too small for really for me to do much with, but I want to use as many as I can. I can mat my photo with that plaid. I can mat this fall, sweet fall with another plaid, and I can go ahead and kind of start with that and work my way through. I did not keep any scraps of paper that I couldn't cut into a 3x4 or 4x6 card for Project Life. So I am using my biggest scraps of paper here to get as many of them utilized on this layout. And then the rest that I have left, I'm totally cool with tossing. You will see that these are like, you know, teeny tiny little things. And I felt like it was okay. I gave myself permission not to feel bad. I am going to go ahead and really distress all of these layers and then give them a hit with my Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo, which is my absolute favorite. I really think that Vintage Photo, Distress Oxide ink, and an ink blending tool should be on everybody's scrapbook desk. Also, I also think you should all have Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink on your scrapbook desk. That's just my personal opinion. I felt like you guys should know that. This distress tool is as old as the hills. It is also something I get asked a lot of questions about quite often. It is from, ready? Memory, I'm trying to think what it's called. Oh, the name of the company just totally like flew the coop. Anyway, it's really old. It's over 10 years old. The company that makes it no longer is in business anymore. And so it's really hard to find. Tim Holtz makes one that is very nice. It just doesn't have that like nice grippy thing. I love the nice grippy thing on this one. It also, I had one subscriber that did find it on eBay. So if you're an eBayer, you probably can find it. I think, is it My Memories? Oh, I hate that. I hate that when the name of the person that makes the thing just totally like goes, just disappears. Anyway, if I think of it before the end of this video, I'll just shout it out randomly, okay? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead here. I distressed that Fall Sweet Fall. I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to trim it up and distress it and ink it. And then we're going to get to utilizing some more of these little scraps and bits and pieces. So I've gone ahead and chosen these. I think I chose 4 different scraps that I thought I could use. And I'm going to go ahead and ink all the edges and all the fun things. And then the rest of the scraps that are in this kit, guys, I am tossing them. You can see them off to the left of my screen there. They're all really, really small pieces. I am okay with it. I have killed this kit. Killed it. And yeah, it definitely was used well. And I'm super excited to be able to kind of like actually properly get it out of my scrapbook. So, Big Mama roll of tape. This is from Amazon. You can get 100 feet of it on 2 Big Mama rolls for $10. It is just lovely. I am going to put some of it on the back of this photo just to pop it up a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and kind of tuck this Fall Sweet Fall underneath my photo. And I'm going to go ahead and add that as my title. So now we're going to cheat a little bit. Haha. I took this really thin strip of this gorgeous teal paper. This was my favorite teal paper. I went ahead and I cut it in half, and now I'm just kind of lining it up to make it look like it goes all the way under my photos, but it totally doesn't. So now I'm gonna work with these 3 scraps. I'm gonna do the same thing, distress them, ink them up, and then we're gonna put them down a little bit across the bottom. And the name of the company that made my distress tool is Making Memories. That was its name. It took me forever. They made that crazy slice machine. Remember that? Oh, that was weird. It's a weird tool, let me tell you. So odd. Anywho, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just trim the bottom of this off ever so slightly, and then we can start to embellish. Okay, so I really wanted to use these last 2 birds really badly. I was like, these birds are getting on this page. So I'm going to pop that one up, and it's going to work out well because I have a 3rd bird that's on the sticker sheet that I'm going to add to. So if you're like my dear friend Alex and you're scared of birds, look away. But otherwise, these birds are pretty cute, so, you know, it works. And they're facing the right way too. Okay, so Big Mama roll of tape on the back of the bird. And right down there. Push it down a little bit, make it lovely. And then we have used up all of those birds and we can toss them in the trash. Woohoo! Okay. The butterflies, I'm going to use 3 because there were really only 3 that kind of worked with my thing. And I'm going to place them in 3 different spots. And then the rest of these butterflies are just going to kind of get put into my embellishment bin. And they are out of here. I'm going to add a little bit of black doodling, give my butterflies some butterfly trails. And then I'm going to also put a nice black border around my whole layout. The pen I'm using is a black Muji pen. It is my favorite black pen. Well, no, not just black. It's my favorite pen, period. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of these stickers here and there. I'm going to pop some up with foam tape. I'm going to kind of layer some up in a couple of different places along my layout. There is my 3rd bird. And now I'm going to get distracted by this squirrel. That's right. I'm being distracted by the squirrel. I couldn't decide if I liked him in the layout or not. And in the end, I decided that I don't. I decided he's just too big. But you can see that I'm sitting here staring at him for, I mean, this is sped up 2 times. So you can imagine how long I sat there staring at the squirrel, trying to decide if I liked him or not. Now I'm going to cut apart. So I left some of this in just so you guys have an idea of how I break down a kit. So my rule of thumb with breaking down the kit is when there are no more large scraps and there are no more full 12 by 12 pages, and especially if the thickers or the alphabet situation has no vowels. Those are all reasons to just kind of start off. I'm going to cut this 12 by 12 sticker sheet apart. So I'm cutting each of the stickers that are left on the sheet around, and then I'm going to put them into my 31. I have a little 31 craft tote that I use to hold all of my like random embellishments, so I'm going to put those in there, and they'll make it on a card, or they'll make it into a Project Life or a Traveler's Notebook, one of my smaller size projects that doesn't need a lot of papers to kind of complete or get through. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll kind of play around with these leaves and find homes for them. If you want to see more projects that I created using this kit, you can find them in the Scrapbooking Store playlist. These, the layouts with this kit would have been November of last year. So November of 2019, that was when these kits came out. So this would have been, yep, that would have been when these kits came out. So you can, if you want to, you can go over to the playlist, the scrapbookingstore.com Scrapbooking Store playlist, and just kind of look at the dates and all of my videos from November of last year. This would have been the kit I would have used, and I did some of the layouts using this kit at at my retreat, which kind of makes me sad because I don't get to go on my retreat this year. I usually go for 4 or 5 days with some scrapbooking friends, and we, for obvious reasons, had to cancel our trip this year. We actually rescheduled it, but you know, just sad. Lots of things not happening, but there's lots of scrapbooking happening, which is awesome. So I am adding these little leaves in all these different places, and yeah, I hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe. The next hop you will probably see me in is my school hop. It is the one hop a year that I organize and put together, and this year it is going to be so huge and so fun, so make sure that you keep your eyes open for that. I know that the girls that are joining me are going to be sharing on social media probably starting September 1st with the dates and all of that. So I'm just adding these little leaves. Look how gorgeous those leaves are. Now, can you imagine them? They could be any color you wanted. You could mix and match leaves, the colors on them, for anything, any line, any collection, any papers. That's why I love stamps so much. And this is where we're going to call this one done. Here are all of the close-ups. Make sure to take a peek down below so that you can hop along with the rest of the How to Kill a Kit with Style girls as they share more tips, tricks, and projects using their scraps. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.